Everyone, I just wanted to check in and talk about these ramps. You know, I do a whole bunch of work, and unfortunately, a lot of times I'll then notice a flaw, and it's because I'm working with flawed objects to begin with. So my ramp was based off of this stair, and you can see this yellow outer edge here. There's a gray line that goes along the outer edge, and so you keep going up, up, up. Oh, what's up here? Now the gray line is on the inner edge. So I, of course, did not really notice this until I'd done a bunch of work, and where it became a problem is I used the inner edge piece from the top up there, and then I noticed that the bridge piece has that little gray line on the outer edge. So that meant I had to scrap those objects and start over again. And actually making this yellow piece with that outer gray edge has been a challenge, and it's because I'm just not good at UV mapping, and I really wish I could partner up with another modder who is much better at UV mapping and understanding textures. And then I wouldn't have to do trickery like you see here with the flickering. And that's because this white area, I had to take a piece of it from up here and then like rotate it and slap it in down here to get the particular look I want. Sometimes when you try to stretch things out in 3ds Max, it messes up the texturing and the mapping. And so normally I'll then select the vertices here and then kind of lower it a little bit so it doesn't flicker, but obviously I didn't do a very good job of that this time. So anyways, that's what sets me back sometimes, and unfortunately this is ramp number 7 here, and I've wasted a bunch of time trying to fix things, and you know, I can't help that. I'm a perfectionist and I just don't like things to be flawed, and so I fix it and it takes me a little bit longer, and you know, then that's all there is to it. So one other little issue I've come across, and this has been something I've been dealing with from the very beginning, and now I'm really thinking I have an understanding of bounding boxes. So, and where it becomes an issue is say the railing here, where the object goes across another object, and you know, the way bounding boxes work is it's calculated, it's a box, and so the height would start from here, the top of the rail, and you know, and the lowest point would be down here, and of course it's this wide. And so what happens is NPCs that is in the way, so they see that there's a box in the way and they won't traverse a ramp. And that happens with the if I put rails here as well, they just see a box in the way. So one way I've done trickery with that is I'll start the height at 0 and then have the max height be -1, and you know, it works, but technically to an NPC it means that object doesn't have any height, so they could technically walk through it even though there's a collision there. Now they won't typically do that up here on a, you know, tall part, but I've seen them get down here and say, hey, it's safe to step up here, and then they'll just sit there and walk through the rail and eventually get through the collision. So you know, that is just not a situation I want to do. I don't want to do a hack like that unless I have to. I already had to do that hack over here with the balcony. It was the same issue. You know, the game sees this as a box, and the box edge is right here. And you know, I kept doing all kinds of trickery, and you know, finally, like I said, I would try the 0 and -1 thing, and then finally people would be able to pass through here because they would stop and not use the ramp. And I don't, the only way, again, I can fix this is cut these up in pieces, and that's exactly what I will have to do over here. I will have to cut these rails in 2, so it's 2 pieces. Unfortunately, it means more objects in the game, but that's just the way it is, you know. So cut these into pieces, and the way that will work, then the bounding box is confined to just this small section, and then it doesn't interfere with people passing by. So you know, that's just the limitations in the engine, and you know, I definitely think I have a pretty good understanding of bounding boxes now. Yeah, good times. So anyway, you know, I'm still not feeling well, and you know, And I've never made it a secret that I'm still pretty new at this, especially 3ds Max, and you know, it takes as long as it takes for me to do this stuff. And you know, I do appreciate your patience. You don't have to use my mod if you don't want to. You know, hopefully, you know, I'll be able to finish up soon. I do need to cut up this new ramp into 2 pieces and for the half ramps. And you know, I planned on skinning all of them and making them, you know, obviously you can see here, which of course means I already did a single piece for the rooms, and at some point I'm thinking about doing a system for 2-story floors basically. I mean, just a matter of hacking up these pieces, I guess, maybe removing the roof and allowing attachment to the top there. So anyways, that is where I am at with the ramps mod add-on. Just keeping you informed, and thank you so much for listening.